Starting the show. Our audience is waiting.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's the can opener, ladies and gentlemen. Jesus Christ, I fucked up. We gotta go for number 11. Number 11 intro.
Yeah, we gotta crack in.
We got 11 full beers beside us trying to do the intro over and over. No, just kidding. We're not redoing it because we only have 2 beers here.
That's right. Are you not going to play the intro?
No, well, I'll do it post.
Oh, that's how you do it nowadays,
yeah.
eh?
Well, it's just easier. Let's just get started, you know what I'm saying?
Let's do it.
You were chilling there for a second. I was chilling here for a second. Anyways, welcome to the Camo. Holy, I can't speak, dude.
This is going to be a good one. This is going to be a good one.
Welcome to the can opener. I'm Evan Stolman. And in front of me, very special guest today. I like looking deep into your eyes when I say that. Jacob Van Dyke. Jinx.
Here for the probably 10th time.
Probably 10th time. I don't know how many times it's been.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's been...
You should have counted. It's been a couple.
A couple.
Do you feel like a seasoned podcast veteran?
It feels... gets more natural every time, you know?
Like, do you... I noticed the first time I stopped like feeling like jittery before. Like, you know what I mean? Before I felt like when I was doing them the first few episodes, and I even recorded a lot of episodes before I even started putting them online. But the first few episodes I was like there was anxiety that came with starting it.
Well, I just had these like pre-thoughts going into it, like these expectations that I expected the podcast to be a certain way, and I don't really have those at all anymore. I just kind of go into it feeling very comfortable.
What kind of expectations would you have, though?
Well, I just would kind of have criteria about what to talk about and how long to talk about it, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's a lot more natural now that I come on and just...
Exactly, because it's almost impossible to gauge when you're having a conversation that requires 2 or more people.
Yeah, exactly.
Because all the responses are varied in time, so you can't really gauge that.
Mm-hmm. What's your favorite number of guests to have on a podcast?
Favorite number of guests? I like one.
Yeah.
Like, one's cool, one's interesting, and so those are some of my favorite conversations. But like 4, like group therapy when we all had 4 of it, that's fun because you get into weird topics, and then everyone has an opinion on a topic, so it's 4 different perspectives at one point, which is kind of trippy. Can get hectic, especially if you're drinking beers. You know what I'm saying?
When me, you, Jake, and Kaylin all did a podcast together, I thought that went way better than I thought it was going to go going into it.
Oh, yeah, that one was hilarious.
I thought it went really well because I thought we were going to be talking over each other a lot, and it would be hard with 4 people there trying to, like...
No, it's different, too, though, because when you have people... Like, Kaylin's done a podcast, but Jake hasn't done a podcast. And when you have people who... like aren't used to the feeling of having like headphones on and like staring at a mic the whole time, it gets like people get reserved.
That's true. You don't want to just go off
exactly
and talk,
you're like waiting for your turn almost.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's kind of just the atmosphere that keeps people in check. I find for people who haven't done them often.
That's where I feel like doing the podcast have almost improved my conversations outside of doing podcasts. You know, I find I listen more and I talk a little bit less. I don't know.
It's more balanced?
More balanced, yeah.
See, I feel the same way, and I also feel like I look at myself very transparent, too, because of it. Like, more than I was before doing it.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
My one goal is just to be totally honest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the entire goal of... what's going on right here. This is like the self-reflection point. So it's made myself more apparent of the faults I do have.
And man, I think if you go into it with that attitude, that's the best attitude you can have, because then you're, like you said, you're kind of more self-critical of yourself. If you're actually... A lot of people have these closet opinions that they're not okay with sharing to the rest of the world.
Very true. And we have people in our life, close friends, that have those.
Yeah, man. Like... a fair few.
and you go into the world and there's so many different avenues that you can go down if you're like that. If you have an opinion and you're like if there's like a social anxiety to sharing your opinion, or there's whatever, you don't think everybody else is going to agree with you, or you don't want to get confrontational, that holds you back. That holds you back not sharing that opinion, because one, you may stay in that opinion forever, which is scary because you're not having these conversations, you're not getting proven wrong when you need to get proved wrong.
See, it's kind of a two-sided story too, though, because if you started gaining enough follow by trying to be so different and trying to be so out there, and then you get that reinforcement from an audience, and it just kind of, I don't know, I'm thinking of someone in particular.
Who?
Shane Vibert.
Oh, Shane Vibert. Shout out to Connecting Consciousness. Shout out. Go check out his Instagram. Tell me what you think.
Some very interesting stuff.
Interesting stuff.
But
are we sheep or are we wolves, people? All right? Are we sheep or are we wolves? Ask that question to yourself.
And I'm not trying to be entirely critical, because I think that there's some benefit that can be gained. I in some ways admire what Shane's built with his Instagram. So we have this buddy. We should give some context to this.
He's not really a buddy.
Yeah, we knew him in high school.
Yeah, grew up with the kid.
Partied with him sometimes.
Yeah. Yelled shit out bus windows with him a couple times. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But well, he started his own Instagram page. And
so first of all, I'll make this context very clear. During high school, he was like a dick. Like straight up, he was kind of a douche. And I'm not being a hater or anything. That was just the vibe he had. Some people have that vibe. And there's a bunch of goofy shit that happened in high school and through a relation. I didn't really have a relationship with the guy. I knew the guy because I worked with him, and we fucking both worked at McDonald's, and like, but he was a bit of a douchebag. I think the majority of people would agree, and I think if him looking back, reflecting on his own actions, I'm sure he'd agree.
I don't think he'd disagree.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Or he'd probably be lying. But he started getting into, I don't know when the transition happened. He was never into anything beyond regular small town kid shit. You know what I mean? And
don't get me, I like Shane. Shane was a pretty cool dude.
He was an alright dude. Like, just interesting.
A bit of a dick, though.
A bit of a dick. Like, just some bully in him. Like, whether he's tormented in the past or like what, he just had a bit of a dick in him. And
just to give a little more context.
He got into, like, I don't even know how to explain it, like chemtrails and shit. They started getting into conspiracy theories. I don't know if he was always into them, but he got really heavy into them, and he got heavy into like healthy lifestyle and living organic and non-GMO and save the bees and started growing bees. And he transformed into this different guy, and like I've had friends tell me that they had experience with them, and like he'll give them a hug after. Like he may be a totally changed person. I don't know. But he has this Instagram, and it's called Connecting Consciousness, and it's got around 300,000 followers or whatever. And it's fucking insane, because it's hard to really wrap your mind around what's happening within that Instagram page, because there's a lot of good. There's a lot of truth within it. It's like he's telling you, eat organic, eat fresh, eat Canadian, eat like...
He has good messages, for sure.
Vegan, like plant-based. Like he has a lot of energy stuff, like a lot of hippie shit. But it's like good shit. It's true shit. It's spiritual shit. But then he has opinions like the Sandy Hook massacre was... a conspiracy. Like it didn't happen. Like these police were like, they were false. It was a false flag or whatever. And he gets really deep into these crazy conspiracies that are very dangerous, but he has a hint of truth in it. And that's why it scares me personally. He just got retweeted by Chris Brown, who has like 40 million.
Literally
like,
42
Instagram.
million, I think.
So like it's just scary, because Chris Brown posted something that he posted that maybe he thought it was true, and it probably was true. I think it was Shane giving recognition for an artist paying attention to like whatever.
It was Shane shouting out Chris Brown.
Yeah, it was Shane shutting out Chris Brown using his platform for good, and then
for being so woke. About,
for being
like,
so
yeah.
woke. Great way to put it, Jacob.
I think it was, if you've ever seen that video, I've seen it scrolling through Facebook where you see all the broadcasters from the local news networks,
Oh, that's very
and then
true.
they say the exact same message. All of them say like, this Christmas, go out and buy.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
It was the program. It was whatever. It was. There was 47 different channels
Yeah.
that had the exact same phrase.
and it was kind of
scripted.
trippy, but that's just
So
because I
trippy.
think they were all owned by Sinclair Broadcast
But
Network
still,
or
that's
something. It wasn't like
scary.
a conspiracy, though.
It is though, because that's when you get into monopolies and like how
It is.
that's when it does get into conspiracy. It's like how these people have such a major influence.
That's true.
Don't even fuck around with how much of a major influence.
But it can
these
all be
local
proved
cable-
with facts that we all know of. It's not like a underground conspiracy network of running.
The only
things,
way
you
we
know?
found out was of it. It wasn't like declared that hey, we have this scripted thing coming right now. This is scripted across all networks. It was just said.
No, but you could look at the annual report because Sinclair is even a public company, and you could see that what they own, each one of the townships and each one of the city news networks, like.
Whatever.
But anyway, so Chris Chris Brown, I think that was the video that he put on,
Yeah.
and then Shane made a picture giving Chris Brown recognition for sharing that video because he was informing so many people with his broad audience of, you know, the conspiracies.
Yeah, and then Chris Brown re-shares Shane's post, and I'm sure Chris Brown is not even aware of his opinions on Sandy Hook or his other rhetoric pertaining other tragedies and different ideas. It's a dark, scary path, and when you do that, that's like ultimately so irresponsible. That's why it's scary. And it's like, I know Shane Viber. I know we grew up with the guy.
Yeah.
He's not all pixies and angels.
And that's why it's so crazy to see like the comments on his Instagram pictures of people getting so behind what this guy seems to have sourced so much information from and seems to have put so much into, but we know that, I mean, maybe in some cases he has, but
It's very cult-like.
yeah, it's very
It's
and on the description, the real he has like all facts, nothing fictional here, and like a whole bunch of, like Evan was saying, stuff that I'm sure, like health stuff that I'm sure he's looked into and could be beneficial, but there's a lot about like, you know, 9/11 conspiracies and
yeah, everything. You know what's crazy though that I just thought about? So at work, I do interlock and landscaping, and at work, the boss is a small team, and the boss hires a guy to do leadership training. And he comes around, his name's Mark, and he just fucking talks, and he's just like a middleman because our boss is a little awkward, and like he knows that he can't do that job, so he has to hire someone because he knows how important it is to keep the. And he was talking about, he's like, I don't know if there's ever been a time in society where we need leaders more. And that's why that just made me think about Shane. And it's like, these motherfuckers are following him so hard because he's acting like a leader.
yeah, that's
He's
true, right?
acting like a leader, and he may be one. But to which direction is he being led? That's why I feel such a responsibility, and I feel like you probably feel the same responsibility to be a leader. Like to lead people in hopefully the right direction and continuously be doing that.
Exactly. And
But-
that's why I brought it up in the first place, because I was going on about the podcast being a good way to reflect criticism rather than reinforce your own wacky views.
100%, and like have real conversations, and that's what I
Yeah.
want this to be, no matter what, and it will always be that way.
100%.
Unlike, don't get me wrong, I'm a fucking human, and I'm on off days, right? I have on and off days, but that's what I most. Well, that would be the ultimate goal, because it is such a. I don't want to say it's meditative, but it's exhausting when you're done one. You're done a podcast and you're exhausted, especially if you had like a really good, hard conversation. You're like sitting there and like you're thinking.
The best, I think you've said it on the podcast before, but the best conversations are always when the podcast is over and we're talking about shit and we're like,
all the time.
every podcast, bro.
That debriefing of like whole, and then you get into these, you go out and you get into these topics about what we were just talking about and how we think that was such a great thing to talk about at that moment, or like it's even other level of dissecting the relatively aware conversation we just had.
Yeah.
And that's why
it's very good conversation after, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. It's always, but I don't know why that is. There is a bit of... It
is a winding down. You can feel it when it's over.
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
Like,
yeah, exactly. It's like a deep breath, like, because it's relatively exhausting. But maybe that's why Joe Rogan, that's his secret. Like, you know what I mean? It's 3-hour ones. So
that's
like,
true.
So like an hour and a half when you're like having that conversation, it like you get that tail end, and that tail end is still content. Because we'd have some great content if we recorded the conversations we had post podcast.
That's true.
Who knows? I don't know.
Some of my favorite ones lately, though, I've been super into all the NPR podcasts.
Yeah.
I don't even know what NPR stands for. National...
I don't know. National Public Radio. I don't.
Yeah, that is what it is. Yeah. But theirs are all around 20 to 40 minutes long. Some of them are even 10. The Indicator, they're all...
But they have like storylines, right? Like
they're all
scripted?
edited and stuff. Yeah.
Are they? They're scripted though, right?
They're scripted and edited down.
So it's like a storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a news report within a podcast.
Yeah.
It's like a really unique platform, but I really enjoy it a lot.
I was thinking about that idea, I want to start writing articles. I've written one, and I'm gonna start my second one, and hopefully other people will be able. Tori Ellis has a couple articles that she wants to write, and I want to encourage her to do so. But that would be another form of that. I'd want to tape those, have audio for those.
Yeah.
And then create the story through the audio from the article.
Mm-hmm. You have said that before, and I think that'd be the best way to go about doing it.
I think it'd be interesting because I think audio content is with the content I want to create.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what, because Joe Rogan puts it all the time. It's like that's the missing time that people have. Like when they're in the car, or when they're commuting, or when that's the missing time. That's the gap you can fill.
On my walk to and from work, that's when I always listen to podcasts.
Or listen to music, or whatever content you want to choose to fill that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And usually it's podcasts. Like I love music. I love music so much. Like I can't even explain it. But sometimes I find podcasts more engaging. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like I want to listen to that because I'm gonna be totally engaged within this moment. I'm just listening to songs that I've listened to before. Like, there are moments where and it's also when you want to learn something, or like audiobooks. Like Chris Cardiff was talking to me about audiobooks and how huge they are. I haven't done an audio. I've done the first couple chapters of Malcolm Gladwell. I don't know what it's like the 10,000 Hour Rule book.
Oh yeah.
And I fell asleep to it and stuff. But I haven't actually listened to one. But apparently they're really good. But that's the space you want to try to occupy. Yeah.
And see, I have done a couple of audiobooks about stuff that I would be really interested. Like usually the NPR ones or the Planet Money ones that are economics related, and that's what I really like listening to. And those are the kind of audiobooks that I've tried to listen to as well, with like Benjamin Graham's Analyzing Securities and his book The Wealthy Investor, or The Intelligent Investor, sorry.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just couldn't get super into the audiobook. And those are kind of books that you would probably get a lot more value out of actually reading and being able to reread over certain sentences and stuff. But
yeah, that's true.
I just love the platform of podcasts. I find it so much... It is an audiobook in a way.
It is totally an audiobook. It's so different than an audiobook. It's an audio freestyle.
Yeah.
Well, it depends how you do it too, right? Mm-hmm. Like what we do is totally an audio freestyle.
Yeah, 100%.
100% it is an audio.
And I really like this platform sometimes too, like with Joe Rogan, or I love listening to the Can Opener Network, obviously.
Go on. Go on.
But I do really enjoy the edited platform of like NPR's, like very similar to an audiobook.
It's
with,
different,
like,
and New York Times has the same.
oh,
and,
that's right. Yeah.
but that's why it's so diverse.
Mm-hmm.
Podcasts, they haven't even figured out like
How to
genre it, because it's like it's so new that, and there's so many ways, because it's only audio, and there's so many ways to manipulate the audio and that story form, because it's like reading.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You could have infinite number of books, and they could all be, even if you did the same podcast, same exact words, it would be a totally different story with someone else inflicting those words.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So there's so many ways to bend audio to make it a different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like hard to genre.
Man, I was talking to this dude at work about it, who I know listens to a lot of podcasts and stuff, and I was like, yeah, my buddy does a podcast. You should check it out sometime, The Can Opener. And I was like, I've been on quite a few episodes and stuff.
Shameless plug.
yeah,
dude. Let's get it.
And he was like, what do you guys do? And I was like trying to explain it to him and stuff.
It's hard.
He was like, oh, okay, I get it. You guys are in the two dudes talking genre. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Pretty much what's going on right now, sir. You pretty much hit it right on the fucking head.
But it is a recognizable genre within people who listen to podcasts. Like, that's a big thing.
It is a big
two
thing.
Dudes talking, or two people talking.
100%. And you can make great content that way. I remember Eminem had a line. He was like, you're only listening because I totally forget the line. I don't want to butcher it. But I'm just saying what two dudes in a living room would. Like, you know what I mean? And there was never an opportunity for that conversation of two dudes in a living room saying whatever the fuck they want, regardless of public pressure, ever before. And I always think of that Eminem line because he's doing that through music. There wasn't never, other than like public radio. And public radio was so censored until like Howard Stern came in. And Howard Stern was like the original podcaster because he was saying fuck, shit, cunt, bitch ass motherfucker. Like, he was just going, he said whatever he wanted. He was uncensored.
He really is recognized all the time as being like the original podcaster.
Bro, he makes like $100 million a year.
Yeah, he is
one of the most like valuable entertainment people in probably North America.
Yeah, it's nuts. I feel like he's even such a big part, in my experience anyway, to people who have Sirius Radio. Like, all of my friends who have Sirius love Howard Stern. I feel like he's such a big support behind the brand of Sirius.
Yeah, he is. He probably is the majority of Sirius.
Literally, wouldn't surprise me.
Because what else do you need Sirius for?
Yeah, now that we have Spotify.
We have Sirius has sports and stuff that still hasn't like found its way out to the other realm of like internet and everything else. But what else do they have? He is the biggest star within that space.
Oh yeah.
Even in radio at all. But he made a questionable comment, and he was like, how does Joe Rogan even make money?
Yeah, I remember that.
Unbelievably, like, for a guy who has done so much for long form audio in general, to like have that close-minded of an opinion on this, it's like you're clearly getting defensive. And that's dangerous for your career, buddy.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Man, traffic in any form is just such a valuable thing. If you can draw up a lot of people listening to you or build up any sort of brand at all.
Gary Vaynerchuk said that currency is attention. That's the currency we're playing within this realm right now. And the reality that we're all living in, 2018, July 2nd, right? July 2nd?
Yep.
So
day after Canada Day.
Yeah, July 2nd. Happy birthday, or God bless Canada. We'll get into that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But what were you just talking about?
Howard Stern and radio and attention.
Yeah, attention.
Yeah.
But nothing. No, I totally forgot where I was going to go with that.
Windy day. Man, it's like, what's the temperature today?
I don't know what the temperature is. It's not that hot, though. It's not hot compared to yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday was Canada Day, and it was Canada's 151st year as a nation.
It was incredible.
And it was a very good day. But brutally, blisteringly hot.
They were predicting it to go up to 50 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, which is...
So if you're in Fahrenheit, go check what that is in Celsius, dude. It's 100 plus. And
it's very hot.
And we're very north. It's very strange how we're getting this crazy of temperatures.
It gets down to like minus 40 sometimes in the wintertime. And up to, like Evan said, like minus 45 or plus 45 and shit in the summertime. We live in one of the craziest parts in the world climate-wise, I feel like.
It varies so much. I don't know where else varies like this. Because even in Europe, they don't get as much snow. We get like feet and feet. We get like 10 feet of snow.
Oh, yeah.
Like throughout the winter. And there's nowhere like that in Europe. We do live in some of the craziest shit.
Oh, yeah. But yesterday was Canada Day, and it was a friggin' amazing day. But downtown, I was reading I forget what the number was. I don't want to butcher it, but I think there were something like, how many people were downtown last year? 60 or 80,000 or something?
I have no idea, man. A shit ton of people.
And this year there were like a tenth as many people down there,
man,
because
it
of the
was
heat.
So fucking hot.
It was ridiculous.
You will pass out on the pavement and your body will melt.
Honestly.
Into the asphalt. That's how hot it is. Like, they won't even find your body because it will be melted. And it will run down the sewer drain. Like, it was ridiculous.
But, man, one of the highlights for me, I'd say, was right before the fireworks. When
right before the fireworks.
Yeah, we had, like, a beautiful spot for the fireworks.
So we were at my house and we were sweating our ass off because I don't have AC in here. We got a fan. We were bitching about it not being on oscillate. Like, we were having those battles.
Yo, and another thing, we have the fan off right now because we got to record this friggin' podcast.
Yeah, we're sacrificing.
So we're sweating our asses off.
I got
here.
sweat dripping down my forehead and I feel it right now. It is what it is. I got a cold beer in my right hand. Almost not cold.
Yesterday was even worse, though. And so we post up this beautiful scene right on the grass, right over where the fireworks are going to be.
So
over the
there's
Ottawa
Parliament
River.
Hill. We're on there's Parliament Hill, and that's where people go to watch fireworks. And me and Jake were like, "No, let's fuck it. Let's go to Quebec." So we walked across to Quebec, which is left of the Parliament Hill, which is another province across from Ontario. We're very close at that point. And are you gonna close that?
Yeah.
God bless you. And we walked up. We walked left, we walked down, we walked to this little, it's not really a beach because it was like a man-made river clearly, and there was like concrete structures and shit. And we walked up to this little grassy patch, and it was right over the water where they're shooting the fireworks, and we're like, we are coming here to watch these fireworks. So we circled around, we were sitting there, and we were like, okay, we still got an hour, so let's go get a beer, obviously. We're going to sell we got to go get a beer, obviously. We're just a couple of dudes. Like, and so we go to Mill Street Brewery. Beautiful place.
Shout out.
Oh, it's like right on the Ontario-Quebec
free advertisement,
border.
Whatever.
Like, dope as fuck. And
really nice place.
Great beer. Mill Street Organics, like a classic. And we were sitting there, we were chatting. And there was this older guy sitting behind us. And usually when older guys start talking to us...
He was probably like mid to late 50s.
He had gray-ass hair, bro. He was 65 at least.
Maybe, yeah.
He was up there. He was... My mom is mid-50s. She does not look anything like...
Yeah, you're right. He was an older dude.
Yeah, he was an older dude. John. And usually when old dudes start talking to you and just like random... He looked over at us and he was just sitting by himself with a beer and he's like, "You getting drunk before the fireworks?" It was kind of like, who the fuck is this guy? And it's kind of an off-putting feeling. I don't know what it is. Like, you know what I mean? When it's not like it's just strange. You know what I mean?
When a stranger tries to be so friendly.
Because it doesn't usually happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like he was being super friendly right off the bat,
That's true,
right?
yeah.
It was just a dude talking to us.
Mm-hmm.
But he was a real interesting guy.
Man, I really like the guy. I thought he was unreal, man.
It was interesting. We started chatting a little bit, and then we invited him over to a table, and we sat there and drank some beers, and he said he was working for the LRT, which is the light rail, like the train that's coming into Ottawa, like the subway.
Yeah, it's like a
showed us pictures of like the Rideau station, and it's like 3 stories under Rideau, and it's like this big concrete fucking cavern that looks like something out of Spider-Man or something, like out of New York City.
Said it was like his 4th LRT project, that he was like an engineer on the project too, and I don't know, he seemed to be very studious, you know.
He seemed like he lived an academic lifestyle.
100%, yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was, you expect these people to be kind of weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
have an expectation for people to be a little strange. And he wasn't strange, so it was off-putting at that point.
Yeah, that's true. He
So-
was very, like, chill.
Yeah, exactly. So it's weird to kind of gauge the scenario where you're in when you're in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a great guy. Jacob was telling him about how you were about to go to Kelowna.
Yeah, and he was like, "Oh, I was in Kelowna like 4 weeks ago golfing," because he was from Vancouver. That's why we.
He was from Ottawa, but he moved to Vancouver,
Mhm.
and he was telling Jacob about fucking Kelowna being beautiful, and then he gave Jacob a business card. We were just chatting.
Yeah.
He gave Jacob a business card, and he kissed his ear and then
No, he
whispered.
didn't. He didn't do that.
And then he whispered in it.
He did
if you
not.
ever want to see me for a weekend, give me a call.
No, but he did. He very
No,
much.
he didn't do that, but pretty
not
much.
I didn't find it to be in a weird way at all.
No.
But he. But he did, I guess, invite me. Like, oh yeah,
To
if you
suck
ever-
some dick.
No, that's not at all what it was. But if I was ever in the Vancouver area, he's
Yeah.
like, if you ever need a place to stay, you can feel free to call me up, you know, friggin' stay with me. Super friendly dude.
Super friendly dude. It was just hilarious. It's kind of weird.
Bought us our beers.
He bought us our beers, but it's only weird because it's so unusual.
I know, right?
That's why I asked him the question. How it's like, why do you live your life with your hand out? Like, why do you choose to help people?
Mm-hmm.
And because it's strange. You don't.
He was very, very flattering too, to like our.
He was.
You know, however you want to phrase it, our maturity or whatever. He was very
He
flattering.
Yeah, exactly. He was flattering. But he made sure to let us know that.
Yeah.
Because I think he understands that you need to be aware of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
He was telling. He was giving us compliments on our people skills and just being able to be personable within that situation. And I think when older people do that, they really mean it because they know. No, exactly. They really mean it. They know that you need to understand that before you do through like action. You know what I
Super
mean?
encouraging hearing it.
It was a nice conversation with a stranger, with a fellow Canadian, and
on Canada Day.
Exactly. And it was a nice moment that I'll definitely remember.
Mm-hmm.
Nice guy too.
Oh yeah. Just the whole day was really good.
But he definitely hit on you a little.
Shut up, bro. You're making it sound like something completely different than what it was.
I don't want to butcher his name. I'm totally kidding.
Yeah, John from LRT is going to call you up and be like, hey, this is slander, bro.
Leaves a message, leaves a comment. The fuck?
His username's John from LRT.
But then after that, we went to the fireworks. Yeah, I'm sweating too, bro. I feel
It
wiping
is
down my
so
nose.
hot. Holy
Okay, we'll
man.
take a. You want to take a break right now, and then we'll get back into the.
Oh, what time are we at right now?
We're at 30 minutes, bro. We're gonna take a break.
Okay, yeah. We got to take a break,
You got it,
man.
because I'm sweating. Okay, we'll
Holy.
be right back. Leave the window open for a little atmosphere. 'Cause we got some.
I think the window was open before, too.
No,
Oh, true.
we got some cool lightning going on in the background. Cool little storm here. Post Canada Day celebration. You know,
Yes.
you gotta. The world's got to balance out, man. When it's really, really hot and really beautiful, you better expect some storm around the corner.
That's right.
It was too hot to be beautiful the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone living in Ottawa or Ontario will attest to that statement. But anyway, we were talking about just after the beer with the dude on Canada Day.
That's right. That's where we left off.
That's where we left. It's been a while. Me and Jacob for a break, bro.
Yeah, we had a pizza. What time is it now?
It's like 3:30, bro.
3:30,
Yeah,
okay.
we took a break.
That was a break and a half. It was friggin' hot.
It's friggin' hot.
We
were
just went and
sweating.
stood out in the rain because it was pouring rain and we wanted to cool off.
We had to, like, necessary. Anyway, we went and watched fireworks, and what an interesting moment of celebration. They have fireworks everywhere. Think about that.
Yeah, I know, eh?
Fireworks happen everywhere in celebration. That's like,
And they're so weird.
they are so weird.
It's just lights in the sky that we just...
But think about how amazed we're just watching a lightning storm. Think about how amazed we are with lightning.
That's true, but that's even way more amazing.
Yeah, most certainly, but not back in the day. Remember, like fireworks were a new thing. Like
That's true.
Like that shit's amazing.
Pyrotechnics,
Bro,
is
you
pretty
can
amazing.
throw
That's true.
sparks in the air and create blasts of different colors, and but it's a great moment of celebration. It's a prideful moment. I don't even know if pride is the right word, but you become grateful. Like we were sitting watching fireworks, and there's a small group of people around us. And there's this guy who just yelled randomly in the back. He's like, "Who's happy to be alive?"
And everybody was like, yeah!
But like such a genuine, real moment.
Yeah,
of,
it really was.
Of just celebration.
Mm-hmm.
It was just such an interesting... And I just got the feeling last night of like, wow, this is incredible. Think about how many thousands and thousands of people of so many different races and creeds all sit together at one point.
Yeah, we saw some neat stuff, man. There's this dude like right by a couple of cops too, who on any other day would have like pulled him over for being hanging out the window, like yelling shit out the window, but because it was Canada Day and he was yelling all this shit about
the streets were flooded.
Yeah, he was yelling about how proud he was to be Canadian.
With people,
and stuff.
not water. We were seeing people with like turbans that were red. You know what I mean? Like so many different whatever the Muslim women wear, the
hijabs.
Not even a hijab. I don't know if I saw a hijab, but like the
of
robe.
course we saw people with hijabs.
I know, but I don't know if it was Canadian. I didn't see one. But like the robe.
Yeah.
But like there's just so many different cultures that represent Canada as home. It's such an interesting time to reflect on that. It's like we are so rare in that way.
Yeah, honestly.
We are so rare.
We're very multicultural.
Extremely, and like successful at it.
Oh yeah.
That's the thing. We're successful at it. It works. It works in our country.
Less hate than a lot of other places.
Unbelievable. But like Jacob was saying about the guy hanging out the car of the window. He was like, "Vive le Canada."
Yeah,
it was some different language. I don't know what it was. If you want to go look that up. I don't know what
the language was either,
It sounded Italian, but it was like they were screaming Canada in different languages.
That was one of the most memorable moments too, man. That dude meant it so much. He just
screamed
the look
it
in
like
his
a warrior.
yeah, honestly.
He screamed like he was about to go to war.
It was like a big long thing too, and he just
loved it. Just the energy.
He was so into it. Yeah, man. Feels good to be Canadian, bro.
It does. It's something to be grateful for.
Man, we haven't done a podcast since the Bill C-45 hit Royal Assent.
Oh, yeah. Here's something else to be grateful for living in Canada. Let's hear it, Jacob. What is Bill C-47?
That's the bill to legalize marijuana federally in Canada.
Woo!
That's the one.
Yo, our fight for freedom is finally almost over.
That's right. You were even watching the debates live and all that.
I was watching some of the hearings. Yeah. They were retarded.
Yeah, you were
straight
telling me about some
idiotic. Just people defending their own biases.
Mm-hmm.
And when it gets to that, you understand how stupid it gets.
What was the whole 3 tokes thing?
It's like as I calculated, this is not verbatim. This is not exact, but 5 tokes of marijuana equals 5 grams. Holy lady, you're packing rimmers here.
Yeah, honestly.
One full drag of one marijuana cigarette.
But it is just a lot of lawmakers opposed who obviously have no experience with the
This lady seemed like she had a lot of experience. She's taken 5 tokes and smoking 5.
You're right.
She must have been doing that since she was in her mom's stomach. That shit's whack. But obviously it is.
Mm-hmm. Huge news, though.
Like these conservatives who are representing like 50 plus, think about back in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was really frowned upon. It's not nearly as frowned upon. In our childhood, we had legalization in the United States of America. So it was coming around, but back then no one did it, right?
I feel like even kids who are a few years younger than us are even way more desensitized to it than we are.
Oh, totally. Most definitely. It's just not frowned upon anymore. It is for children to do, of course, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's way more socially acceptable.
Oh, yeah.
Which is what I think it should be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't suggest kids doing it. I don't.
No.
Your brain finishes developing at 25 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be safe, stick to that. But fucking, it shouldn't.
And I'm
it
not
shouldn't
saying,
be what it was.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it's good that kids younger than us have a better attitude. I just think they have a much more mature attitude towards weed and a much more understanding perspective than what we grew up with the DARE program and with.
Yeah, that's true. The understanding and where we learn the information from.
Mm-hmm.
Because now it's less looked upon. Even like it's more appropriate for parents to talk to their kids about it than it was, right?
Mm-hmm.
Reefer madness, bro.
Man, even way after Reefer Madness, even when we were in like grade 5, we had to go through that DARE program, and I thought the DARE program was bullshit, man. I don't even remember
the DARE program talking about weed, to be totally honest.
No, that's what it didn't differentiate, but it just, the main underlying message was that drugs are bad. You shouldn't do drugs.
Drugs are bad. What's that South Park episode?
Yeah, man.
Drugs are
Every
bad.
episode.
Okay, drugs are bad. You shouldn't do them. Okay. But I don't know. It's just such a terrible message, I think.
Yeah, it should be more of an understanding thing than a total ignorance thing. But
why the fuck do they think why did they do that? Is there not someone there that like slightly understands like how they should approach certain situations like this?
Well, that's where it'll be really interesting with weed being legalized, and it'll stop being a criminal justice issue altogether, and it will fall more into like the mental health kind of category of like, you know, it's not going to be people being punished, it's going to be people getting help more than anything, like alcohol.
But even, yeah, I guess it's more like alcohol. But like, even then, we still have so many ignorant issues to every other drug, like Portugal.
Yeah.
Like how do we move so slowly compared to the times?
Mm-hmm.
Because it kind of holds us back to a certain extent.
Oh, it definitely does.
It holds back our generation.
Mm-hmm.
When people aren't moving according to pace.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like that Casey Neistat video where he does. You ever see the movie where he's on the stairway that move? It's not a stairway. It's like a walkway that moves in elevators, like in the middle. It's like an automatic walkway, and so Casey's walking on it backwards. It's like life is walking on.
Oh yeah, I have seen that one.
Automated walkway backwards.
Mm-hmm.
If you stand still, you fall behind.
Mm-hmm.
If you walk normally, you stay still, and if you fucking hustle, that's how you get forward. That's the only way. And like the government truly is holding us back because they're walking slowly.
Honestly.
Yeah.
And it's real interesting looking at the markets too, because it's going to. Right now, we've just been speculating on what we think the projected demand is going to be and the supply that they're going to be actually producing. They're not producing any of it yet, and the demand doesn't exist yet because it's totally illegal. So when it shifts more over to being legal, we're going to really see a reinforcement in these numbers, or maybe, you know, an unrealistic expectation right now of the numbers. We'll see how it goes.
You never know.
I think they're more likely to beat the numbers, but I'm surprised how high the valuations have gone pre-legalization.
Yeah. Yeah, very true. It's interesting. I'm not... Who knows what the numbers are going to be? We could look at Colorado and compare them.
And that's the thing, is that in the States, they've all been projected... They've all been way higher than the projected numbers were, as far as every single article that I've ever read about it.
Yeah.
Even in Nevada, I was reading one about how Nevada's exceeded their expectation And
Yeah,
that's,
I just think that people who smoke cannabis on the regular and who want to be a law-abiding citizen, and trust me, there are millions, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's fucking millions.
yeah.
And they're going to just go to the dispensary because that's where they have to go to abide by the law.
Mm-hmm.
And that's millions of people.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like it's hard to guess how much the black market will survive, or like what will they do to choke it out, because I feel like that's one of the only factors is the black market.
That's a big factor, though, I feel.
Yeah, a huge factor.
I know people who are ordering their weed online right now on these websites who are obviously illegally, but they're paying like $3 or $4 a gram for like, I don't know, man.
I know people who are growing 40 plus plants and they don't want the laws to change, and they want to keep selling because they're making thousands of dollars off
And
it.
that's where it's going to be very important for the regulators to come in and try to crack down a little bit harder on them, so that because it's more of an investment at that point, since they're already making tax revenue off of it. It's not a waste of money shutting down the people who are growing weed.
Yeah, but they're going to crack down hard on them because...
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully.
Well, they will.
If they're smart, yeah.
Yeah, they definitely... Well, that's the plan already, right?
Mhm.
It's going to be a very hard sentence if you get caught selling marijuana in Canada.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just
like bootlegging.
It's like selling booze.
Mhm.
It's exactly like you get... That's a big charge
Yeah,
for selling illegal booze.
that's true.
So it should be different, but it's like... Don't sell more weed. Just grow 4 plants legally and do it.
Yeah.
This guy's fucking crazy too. He's already got a fucking record and like...
What guy? What?
I'm not gonna say.
Oh,
his
true.
name. It's fucking crazy. Yeah. It's gonna be so different. How many tourists are gonna come here? How many people are gonna meet from Sweden and be like, "Yeah, I came to smoke the Canada weed."
It's going to be a big industry for sure.
Smoke the Canadian weed. That BC bud. It will be a huge industry. But it's just so strange because we never come out of prohibition before
Yeah, in our lifetimes.
in our lifetime. Neither in our parents' lifetime.
That's true. It was a
Or our
long
grandparents'
time ago.
lifetime.
Yeah.
And the stock market was rarely around for public use back then.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're very right, eh?
So it's trippy. It's a strange time. Now we have access to the stock market. We have access to investing in companies digitally. Everybody shake your fucking head and understand like the power you have in that.
Well, it is crazy because we're at a time right now that we might be looking back at this time 30 years from now and thinking like we were a part of a big problem. Like if
All of a sudden everybody's stupid.
no, that's not what
everybody gets into one huge car crash at one single time.
I just think there's a lot of industries that have a lot of like regulatory capture, you know, where like an industry works with a government so closely to create the regulations and abide by the regulations
Yeah.
and make the regulations more strict that they make it impossible for another competitor to enter the market. And I feel like that's going to be a big thing in the weed industry, that it's going to be very hard for other competitors to enter in. There's going to be this big weed monopoly, which I don't think is a terrible thing, because if you did have the small companies, then it would be really hard to regulate.
Isn't that kind of how the world is working at this point in time?
Yeah, but with a lot of other goods, like,
Beer?
yeah, there's a lot of craft beer.
But not really.
That's true. I know what you mean. That's a regulatory capture industry too, though, where Anheuser-Busch is worth like 10 times as much as the company in second.
There's only a few companies that control and have a bunch of different little brands. Same with cell phones.
Mhm.
Same with insurance. Same with banks. Same with
That's true.
everything.
Hmm.
So it's like... It could be a problem, but that's also a problem in our system.
Hmm.
Has it become a problem yet?
I guess not. But it's becoming more and more dramatic every year, the difference between the big and the small.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely. So, do you think that's the government's way of trying to interfere with that? and trying to balance it out a little more? Or is that them trying to create monopolies?
Well, it's the private trying to work with the public, and it's not that's not bad. It's really good in a lot of ways that we have heavily regulated industries that are also able to do very well. But I feel like there should always be a market for entry. Like tobacco, for example. We wouldn't be able to start our own tobacco company. Or, like you said, our own beer company.
If you got a good brand, I got one. DC, Dart City. Dart City, baby.
I don't know. I think you'd need like hundreds of millions of dollars.
I'm sure you would to break it in the market. You talk about like Coca-Cola and shit. Like, they will stomp you out. Like, there's no...
But Coca-Cola has way more of a market of entry regulation-wise. That if you wouldn't have to abide by a bunch of regulations in order to enter that market.
Into the soda market?
Yeah.
But the competition itself would end your career.
You're right. But that's not a regulatory capture. That's just a market capture. That's just like they won. In a lot of ways.
Yeah.
That's not regulations holding other people back, like tobacco or...
So do you think a company could do it better than Canopy Growth Corp is doing it right now?
Definitely, if the private market was open. If it was more open for more people to... Competition makes everybody better.
Yeah. Yeah. So you think... I guess that makes sense.
But I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing for an industry like a drug, like any drug, like weed included, for it to be so private that it's the best and you're selling it better than anybody else can. Because...
Yeah, and it totally depends on content too. You can market a lot of things.
Yeah.
Regardless of content of the product. Yeah, I guess it's like pharmaceuticals in the U.S.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of a trippy situation because it's so privatized that you can do whatever you want with. It's all about selling the pill rather than having the pill for the people who need it.
Yeah, even if you look at their like balance sheets at the end of each quarter, they spend more on, I shouldn't generalize all of them, but a lot, like Johnson & Johnson spends more on marketing than they do on research and development. Yeah.
See, that's strange.
It is super strange. But if they weren't such a heavily cash-driven, profitable company, then they wouldn't be able to make the same advancements in healthcare that they have been able to make.
Yeah.
With pharmaceuticals.
What have they done?
I don't know what Johnson & Johnson, yeah.
Band-Aids, shampoo.
Maybe that's a bad example.
You don't cry during But then you also get the justification of like, yeah, if we spend this money on marketing, we'll be able to get this money back for research and funding. Because 10 years ago when they were making less money, even the percentage will grow. So even if they're spending the same percentage on research and development, that number still grew within the past 10 years. And who says that's not due to marketing? It's just trippy.
It is. I totally agree.
It's a hard... Weed is going to be recreational, though. That's the thing. It's not a fucking Ambien or like a Xanax. Like, we're going to be smoking joints like we're drinking beers.
Yeah. But that's where... we know people who are prescribed medical marijuana. One of our friends' dads for PTSD, and he gets a lot of benefit out of it, and I totally believe that.
He says it's changed his life.
Oh, I totally believe it too.
Of course.
But I think a lot of people who get medical marijuana are doing it recreationally and claiming that it's for medical purposes.
Well, 100%. Just because that's the place we're in right now.
Yeah.
That's the only people who smoke weed. People are still doing Xanax and still taking like Metamucil or like sleeping pills. People are still taking that shit because weed isn't, or medical marijuana isn't prescribed often, and therefore these people don't even know about that pathway.
Yeah.
So that'll change a lot, especially when recreational is available to the public.
You're right.
And you can just be like, instead of having to order it medically online, you can order it recreationally online. So it'll change. That stuff will change once the market's open, whenever, October 16th or
17th, yeah.
17th. But that's it's gonna change a lot of shit.
It really will.
We're gonna be a different country.
No,
we're gonna have a
honestly.
different space in the world for sure.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, anything else you want to talk about here, Jacob?
No, I think those are my closing thoughts.
Those were your closing thoughts, all about weed, eh? You're just a fucking stoner.
No, the markets. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's about weed. You're right. We weren't getting in the trichomes and the THC CBD balance, even though that shit's very handy to know. And that's also going to be the interesting thing, actually. When there's more information that comes out, that's what's going to be the best about the legalization, is how much more research they're going to do on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be probably the biggest benefit. What if it's just like so bad for you? What if it's just like...
That's what I
hope...
but I could totally see that being a possibility.
It's over for me. It could, and it should be a possibility because it is a possibility.
Yeah.
You can't be closed-minded on that.
No, exactly.
And then just make it illegal. Someone told me, someone had an opinion, and they were
Well,
like,
that wouldn't even be a reasonable result to make it illegal, I don't think, if we found out that it was really bad for us.
no.
I think we should still be allowed to, even if it's really bad for us.
Somebody who explained and made it vocal that he had a conservative ideology. Like he was like, yeah, I'm conservative. Like that's what he said.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, that's weird. Okay. But he's like, I think once a conservative government comes back within Canada, then they're going to make weed illegal again. It's like, that may be the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
That would be a very bad political move.
Just extremely undemocratic.
Yeah,
first of all,
too, yeah.
First of all, and just dumb.
Yeah.
Once you see the money that comes in from that shit, don't stick to your political sides.
No, honestly.
Bad idea.
Make an independent opinion.
You look dumb. Straight up, you look dumb if you're
Mm-hmm.
just repeating what other people are saying. But I do it all the time, so fuck it. All right, anything else?
Nope.
Peace out. Good luck.
Peace world. Gonna turn the fan back on. Try to cool down.
We got sweat dripping down my nose
Honestly.
into this mic, and it's gonna smell disgusting next time I come up here.
These headphones, I can feel the sweat.
The headphones are thick. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And like the majority of the sweat comes out of your head.
Yeah.
So
That's what it is.
yeah, shout out to Mark. I haven't shouted out Mark in a long time. Love you, man.
Who the hell's Mark?
Mark worked at Harvey's, bro. He's got a child now.
Oh, should I?
His child.
Congrats, Mark.
His child is coming in the next 3 weeks. So congratulations to Mark. You know, hope things are good. He moved to Quebec. Miss that guy. Good guy.
Oh,
Great
and
guy.
shout out to Casey Cutting, who wasn't able to make it.
Yeah,
for,
shout out to Casey Cutting
for
too.
a
Yeah,
podcast.
I found your wallet.
Yeah,
That sucks.
but we're gonna have. You gotta have him on sometime.
Yeah, 100%. I really appreciate your company this weekend. We had a great Canada Day.
Oh yeah.
Celebrated.
All right.
And yeah, that's it. We're drinking the sun.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace.